Hi, my name is Holly and I left Godolphin in 2015. I went on to study a degree in modern languages and European studies at the University of Bath. The third year of my degree course was spent abroad, so I spent 6 months in Aix-en-Provence as an Erasmus student, and then I moved to Madrid for 4 months to work in a law firm, and then I spent the final 2 months of that year in Barcelona working as a translator. I thought I would just share a few words about how I navigated sixth form, university, and how I started my professional career as a communications consultant. So I was always really envious of my friends who knew exactly what they wanted to do for their career, like the doctors, the vets, the teachers, the artists. It really wasn't that straightforward for me because I had subjects which I absolutely loved, like music and languages, but I had no idea what I wanted to do for my career. So one phrase that I would always hear in sixth form was, studying languages opens so many doors for you in terms of career opportunities. And I thought, oh great, but how do I know which doors to knock on? And another thing that I'd always hear is, okay, so you're a linguist, so you want to be a foreign languages teacher or a translator or an interpreter. So it became really obvious that people perhaps pigeonhole languages students into a certain few roles when actually there are so many jobs out there that you have the skills for and that you would enjoy. So my tactic was always to pursue the subjects that I enjoyed the most, which means that I took French, Spanish and Latin for my A-levels and then went on to do my modern languages degree. I'll say here that if you're someone that is thinking about going down the university route, you will get to uni and be around people who know exactly what they'd like to do once they've graduated, and will have sort of a full 4 or 5 year plan laid out for them, which is great for them because it might make it easier for them to sort of set goals, etc. But for me, I found those conversations very overwhelming because I'd only really just decided what I wanted to study for my first year modules, let alone what I wanted to do beyond my 4-year bachelor's degree. That mindset stayed with me through the duration of my degree course, and I just sort of took each year at a time, but proactively went out and spoke to my course mates, my university careers advisor, as well as some university alumni to really understand the kinds of jobs that were out there and find some that I might be interested in, as one thing that I did know for sure was that I wanted to get into the world of work as soon as I possibly could after graduating. I'll cut a very long story short, but I found my current company's graduate scheme at my university careers fair, having researched the companies that were offering roles in marketing, PR and communications, as those were the industries that appealed to me the most. I got a place on FTI Consulting's Strategic Communications graduate scheme for their 2019 intake, and I've actually just finished that scheme and I'm now a consultant within their consumer industries team, helping companies such as retailers, aviation groups and leisure companies with their financial, corporate and digital communications. I absolutely love my job and I feel really grateful that I'm in a role that allows me to use my languages, whether that be translating copy for social media content or pitching to a French journalist, pitching a client's news announcement to them. I feel very fortunate that I'm in a role that allows me to do that, as we know with languages, if you don't use them, you'll lose them. There are a few things that I would like to tell my younger Godolphin self. The main one would be to not worry so much about not knowing what you'd like to do in the future, so long as you actively seek out advice and talk to people to equip yourself with as many options to explore as possible. If you're able to organise any work experience for yourself, whether that be in half-term time or school holidays. I know that whilst I was at Godolphin there was a lower sixth work shadowing week. That's a really valuable opportunity for you to explore an area of work that you might be interested in, or just rule out something that you know you definitely don't want to pursue for your career. The second thing I'd tell my younger self is that whilst looking for graduate jobs or any other kind of employment opportunity, you need to prepare yourself for rejection. It's an inevitable part of the process, and it's definitely not an easy part of the process, but you just need to try and be as resilient as you can and keep going with your job search, because the right opportunity will come through for you. I'm basically just telling you not to give up on yourself, as you really do owe it to yourself to give yourself the best possible chance at securing the opportunity that you want. Thirdly, and building on what I've just said about job applications, I'd really encourage any fellow linguists to keep going with your languages, as they're such an asset and definitely your unique selling point. Several companies now do acknowledge the advantages of having applicants with more than one language on their CV. So with the job market being so competitive, I'd really encourage you to keep going with your languages, as this could really differentiate you from your peers. And finally, the contacts and connections that you make at Godolphin will stand you in such amazing stead for a very long time to come. I'll always credit Mrs. Avila and Jose Manuel for being the best language or Spanish teachers that I could have wished for. And they were both actually interviewed for my final year dissertation at uni, and they both helped me to organise my work experience as an English language teacher at a language academy in Alicante whilst I was at Godolphin. So I'd really encourage you all to keep your Godolphin network going, because it's a really amazing tool, that network, particularly through the OGA network. It's a really amazing tool for you to use as you build your career. So good luck, have faith in yourselves, keep in touch with each other, and be sure to pursue the subject that you really love.